Hi, Luther Emerson School. It's time for our One School, One Book initiative, and I'm super excited about this. It's very important to realize how important it is to read each night at home. You know, find books that you're interested in. If you love stuff about history, if you love reading about science, find books based on those topics. There's tons of stuff out there. This year, we're going to be reading Shine by JJ and Chris Grabenstein, and they'll be coming to visit us in early March for Read Across America Week. So I'm going to kick it off by reading the first 5 chapters with you tonight. So why don't we open up our books to page 1. And the title of this chapter is Starry, Starry Night. Some people are not meant to shine. Others are better off blending in. Me, I'm a blender. But tonight is one of the biggest nights ever for my dad, so I'm here to help. Dad's singers are on stage at the Municipal Auditorium waiting for the curtain to rise. I'm off in the wings dressed in black, trying to disappear. My dad, Marcus Milley, is a music teacher at Fairview Middle School. His a cappella group has finally, for the first time in recorded history, by some sort of miracle, made it all the way to the biggest show in town, the finals of the Winter Sing-Off. The place is packed. The local news crews are here too, taping reports for their 11 o'clock broadcasts. The finals, I hear the reporter from Channel 8 saying to a camera. You can't get much closer to the big finish than that. Dad's group sailed through the first 2 rounds with their mashup of Let It Snow and Winter Wonderland, which, by the way, sounded even better on a stage sparkling with glittery spray can snow. Now, they just have to do one more song for the judges. And they'll do it without instruments or even a piano because that's what a cappella means. It's all vocals and shoop-shoops and mouth noises. I don't go to Fairview. I'm a 7th grader at Westside. That's a good thing. Music is Dad's life, and even though I'm related to the director, I don't sing well enough to make the Fairview Choir or any choir. Because I can't carry a tune in a lunchbox, at home I don't even sing in the shower, and we definitely don't do carpool karaoke. Anyway, like I said, Dad has never come this close to winning the big county-wide holiday a cappella contest, and I've never been more excited for him. That's why I volunteered to be his assistant and help out backstage. Dad and his singers are the main attraction. I'm just a moon orbiting their planet. This is it, Piper, says Dad, his eyes twinkling with excitement, so pay attention. That's the main character's name, Piper. You've got this, I tell him. We fist pump on it. The curtain will go up for everybody's final songs in 7 minutes. I can see other choirs waiting in the wings. Some are in red and green outfits, others in sparkling blue and silver. The backdrop is a row of Christmas trees flanked by a cardboard menorah and a Kwanzaa candle set. Dad's group is totally focused, doing their vocal warm-ups. Ah, oh, ooh, ah. They limber up their lips with a tongue twister. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Suddenly I hear a cough. Dad twirls around. Now there's panic in his eyes. One dry throat in the soprano section could ruin everything. That's exactly what happened at the Nationals last year. Dad and I watched it on YouTube. A coughing fit took down the top team in the country. A girl up front was hacking so much during Let It Go that she sounded like a high-pitched chihuahua. Water, Piper, Dad says from the tremor in his voice. I can tell he remembers that disaster too. Room temperature water, I add, because my scientific brain knows that room temperature water is much better for vocal cords than cold or hot. Cold water could actually hurt a singer's voice. Tighten the cords when they need to be loosened. You don't want hot water either because it can cause your pharynx to swell slightly. You should also avoid dairy. I take off looking for a water dispenser with one of those hot taps for making tea, so I can quickly pour the perfect mix of hot and cold to achieve room temperature. On the far right side of the stage, I think I see one. It's right behind a competing a cappella group, but they're not doing any last-minute vocal warm-ups. They're too busy pointing, laughing, and making fun of Dad and his singers. Chapter 2, The Stiff Competition. Fairview Middle School shouldn't even be allowed to enter a competition as important as this, I hear one girl say. They are such amateurs. She has her hand propped up on her hip and is very huffy. It's so close to the holidays, perhaps the judges were feeling charitable, says a boy sarcastically. 'Tis the season and all that. Actually, Ainsley, another girl says to the huffy one, I think Fairview deserves to be in the finals. Their mashup of Let It Snow and Winter Wonderland was amazing. Are you kidding, Brooke? It was more like Winter Blunderland. Some of the other kids snicker. Brooke, the girl who complimented Dad's singers, drops her head a little and slumps her shoulders. Now pay attention to all the characters that you're hearing about. The kids in this group look a lot slicker and more polished than Dad's group. All the girls are wearing the exact same plaid skirt, white blouse, and navy blue blazer with a fancy crest. The boys are in khaki pants, white shirts, striped ties, and the same blazers. Dad's choir's in whatever white skirts, black pants, and black shoes everybody could find. Dad, too. His boys are wearing holiday ties. Dad's features a very operatic Santa. I tilt the twin taps on the water dispenser and check my watch. It's still 5 minutes to curtain. I have time to eavesdrop. We are Chumley Prep, boasts a boy. That's the name of the school where those kids go. We are the best, no matter the endeavor. Hear, hear, says another boy. Chumley Prep is the school over in the part of town where there's a country club with a golf course and where all the homes look like palaces surrounded by gigantic oak trees. Sometimes on Sundays, Dad and I drive around over there and gawk at the houses. Tuition to Chumley Prep is super expensive. That would explain why I don't know anybody who ever went there. Except, of course, my mother. 20-some years ago, she won a full music scholarship and went to Chumley. My mom was basically the opposite of me. Everything she touched sparkled. From what I've heard, she never disappeared into the background. Ever since she was little, people called her a musical prodigy. She could sing, play the cello, and even juggle maracas. Seriously. I've seen pictures in her yearbooks. I'm not sure how useful maraca juggling is, but still. Did you see the shoes the Fairview director is wearing? Ainsley sneers. Can someone say fashion mistake? They're not even dress shoes. They're gym shoes. Black gym shoes with white socks. So we see that the students from Chumley are making fun of Piper's dad and his choir. Several of the Chumley singers chortle and snort. I can't stand hearing this girl making fun of my father on his big night. He's been working to be here since forever. Who cares what kind of shoes and socks he's wearing? I'm really, really proud of him. Mom would be too. But she's not here. More about that later. I finished filling the water cup. I'm trying to muster up enough courage to give the Chumley Prep a cappella group a piece of my mind. Fortunately, I don't have to. Somebody slips out of the shadows to do it for me. Chapter 3, My Hero. An elderly man in a blue blazer scampers out of the darkness. He may be old, but he's feisty. Judging from his outfit, I'd say he must also be a Chumley Prep booster alum. He's dressed just like the kids, only his blazer is kind of baggy, his khaki pants kind of saggy. I think he might be 80 years old. Children, he demands. Where is Mr. Glass? Where is your director? The kids ignore him. They keep chattering about what's wrong with the other finalists. He stamps his foot down hard. I said, where is Mr. Glass? Finally, he has their attention. I sent him to go to the judges, says Ainsley. They're letting Fairview Middle School go on first in the final round, and that, sir, is 100% unacceptable. We need to be the first group on that stage so we could set the bar so high no one will ever be able to top it. Hear, hear, says the boy who, if you ask me, says hear, hear too much. The old man narrows his eyes and says what I'm thinking. You, my friends, are not the center of this or any other known universe. Wow, he's quoting Nelly Dumont Frise, one of my favorite astronomers. But the group from Chumley Prep isn't as impressed as I am. Several kids roll their eyes when the man isn't looking in their direction. He takes a small step forward. Think hard about who you want to be, children, he tells them. Think very, very hard. The group is stunned silent for maybe 2 seconds. Who do I want to be, says Ainsley. How about a winner? Other members jump in and pile on. I want to be famous. I want to be a person who goes to Yale and sings with the Whiffenpoofs. The old man shakes his head and walks away. Me? I race across stage with my cup of room temperature water. I need to make sure all of Dad's singers are at their absolute best because I've never wanted them to win a competition so much in my whole entire life. Chapter 4, Rising Star. My new favorite song of all time, A Merry Holiday Medley. Snippets from 30 different holiday songs in 4 minutes. Everything from Santa Claus is Coming to Town to Rocking Around the Christmas Tree to Kwanzaa Celebration to the Dreidel Song. All done pentatonic, sorry, that was a rough word for me, style by 20 middle school kids. That's what Dad's a cappella group did to win for the first time ever, the Winter Sing-Off. Woohoo! They call the group on stage to take a bow. The judges give Dad a trophy. His singers present him with a dozen roses wrapped in green tissue paper and a bright red bow. Yay, Dad, I shout from the wings. He looks so happy. I swear he's not seeing the municipal auditorium when he looks out at the crowd. In his mind, he's on a Broadway stage, just like he's always dreamed about. I clap till my hands hurt, because I know Dad gave up that dream for me. He wanted to write musicals and conduct Broadway orchestras, but that's a risky career with no guarantees. You need a ton of talent and lots of lucky breaks. Dad definitely has the talent. The lucky breaks, not so much. After Mom died, he had to find a steady job so he could take care of me. Winning the a cappella competition, for him, that's even better than taking a bow on Broadway. Well, that's what he tells me on the ride home anyway. The next night, we host a big party at our house to celebrate. All the a cappella kids are there, making up funny shoop-shoop songs about the punch. They do an amazing 4-part harmony on sherbet and ginger ale. Don't add any kale. Oh boy. Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Teachers from Fairview and the principal drop by to toast Dad with eggnog and iced sugar cookies. A bunch of my friends from school and our neighbors come over too. Did I mention there are sugar cookies? Your dad is like officially the best choir director in America, says Hannah Schnell, who goes to Westside with me. Too bad this wasn't the state competition. She bites the head off a sparkly red reindeer. Sometimes in big crowds I need a break. It's a blender thing. So while everybody pats each other on the back, I drift off to my bedroom to have a word with my mother. Well, a photo of her anyway. She's dressed in a black gown, cradling her cello, and laughing with her head tossed back. The picture was taken the night my mother performed at the world-famous Carnegie Hall in New York City. Yes, she was that good on the cello. Everybody's here to congratulate Dad. I tell her. They were so awesome last night at the concert. You should have heard them. Maybe you did. Anyway, they were amazing. You would have been so proud. Music was something my mom and Dad loved almost as much as they loved each other. So yeah, sometimes I wish I could sing or hum. Chapter 5, Big Mama Bear. Before long, it's nearly Christmas. I'm hoping Santa brings me this awesome star projector I saw in a catalog filled with scientific stuff, or a book by my hero, Dr. Nellie Dumont Frise. Dr. Frise is an astronomer at the Palomar Observatory in California and the host of my favorite show on PBS or any other channel, Star Talk. She also used to be an astronaut, one of the first female African-American ones. How cool is that? At the end of every show, Dr. Frise winks at the camera and says, "Shine on, stargazers." It's like she's talking directly to me. Why do I love astronomy so much? I guess it all started back in the 2nd grade. My class went on a field trip to the planetarium. They projected a sea of stars on the dome ceiling, and we all oohed and ahed as one by one. The constellations were highlighted and morphed into Greekish statue versions, making the formations easier to see. Leo, the lion, Gemini, the twins, Perseus, the hero from Greek mythology. My favorite, Ursa Major, which is Latin for the greater or larger she-bear. Ursa Major was up there on the ceiling of the planetarium projecting her daughter, a smaller constellation called Ursa Minor, the smaller she-bear. When the show was over, my teacher had to drag me out of the planetarium, literally. I made Dad take me back every weekend for like a year. My mom died when I was 3, so I don't remember much about her. But when I look up at the night sky, I see the Big Dipper and connect the dots to complete the Big Mama Bear. That's my own personal translation of Ursa Major. It's like my mom is up there every night looking out for me. Even during the day or when the night sky is cloudy and I can't see any stars, I know she's still keeping an eye on Dad and me. Stars are like that. They're always there, whether we can see them or not. My job, to keep looking out for my dad, to keep looking out for Dad, like my mom would if she were here. Speaking of Dad, I plan to give him a special present this year instead of my usual original cast recording of his favorite new Broadway musical. An engraved silver frame with a photo of him and his award-winning a cappella group performing on stage at the competition. And if you squint, you can kind of see me dressed in black holding a cup of room temperature water in the wings. I almost have enough money to buy the picture frame because I have a part-time job, walking a pug for Miss Helen Gilbert. She's a widow who lives in the senior citizen apartment complex a quick bike ride away from our house. But that afternoon, as I'm putting Mr. Pugsley into his harness, I got some bad news. So boys and girls, every night you have to read a certain part of this book. I know it's going to be hard not to read on, but do your best to keep up with us and try to stay on schedule. This is a beautiful book which has so many life lessons in it. And I hope that you all get a lot out of it. So thank you all to the LLE community for reading with us. We have a few weeks of reading, and then in March, JJ and Chris Grabenstein will be coming to meet us in person, and they are awesome, awesome people. Read on, everyone. Thank you.